Like, dude, sometimes the hero of the story has got to question their own heroism, you know? Sometimes the man, because you're God in a human body, and I don't need to remind you of that. I just feel like it. I feel like that's what loving people do. They remind their significant others in their lives at least once or twice a day, the people that they think about the most, right? As being relevant to them. They remind them, be like, you're God, bro. That's why, dude, there was this chick that I used to chill with. She was like a stoner chick, but she was a very smart businesswoman. She was very successful out the gate. And I automatically related to her because I grew up around super successful people. Like them or not, many of them had some, like, unruly traits and whatnot, but um, so that's why I kind of surrounded myself with brokies for a while, because I think that brokies are more sometimes humble. I'm not even gonna say that because I'm still trying to figure out what does it mean to be humble. Because when I started stand up, I'm like, this pretty much captures the dichotomy between humility and exaltation. In a similar way physically to what the crucifixion did. But I'm not gonna get too deep on that. Yeah, but anyway, this chick would be like, "Oh yeah, you're good." She would just constantly say, "You're good" to everybody, and I'm like, "You're good." I'm like, and so I just started saying that to people, and do you know what that did for me, like confidence wise? That just made me feel so good every time I said that to somebody. I just gave that goodness to people, and yeah, that shit just like exponentially multiplies itself, bro. It's fucking amazing. You learn about like interest and stuff like that. I'm not a fan of like interest in terms of like lending money. I think if you lend somebody money, you shouldn't really expect it back. Not from them, at least. Like I don't think it's bad to accept it back from them, but I think it's like unnecessary, because if you know how to get it anyway, it's like, why would you go after the interest? That just doesn't make sense, right? That's why I think Muslims are pretty smart when it comes to that. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of people that I admire, and I tend to only focus on the things about people that I admire, not the things that I would change or be different. Because it's like, what am I saying about myself that I gotta change? That I gotta do something different? No, I don't. I was perfect. I was I was a king right out the fucking womb, bro. I was perfect the second I was born, and then like you know people, the egregores of the times will say that, no, you're not perfect, bro. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. Okay, what advantage is there in that? The only advantage, well, it's like you're cutting yourself off from something that you want. The not is useful when it comes to like cutting yourself off from things that you don't want. Fine, if that makes you feel better. But at some point, it's like you just gotta focus on the things that you do want. You gotta focus on the things that are actually good for you. And who even knows what those things are, right? But they're all you anyway. So if it's all you, then who gives a fuck? Such like a kind of imbalance in some things that we do and some things that we don't do. Like in Tunisia, for example, they don't have like internet. They don't have like cell service really. So they're just walking around talking to each other all day in the flesh, in person, and it's like, oh wow, we look at that like that's fucking weird. Or no, not Tunisia. I'm sorry. I think it was Eritrea. It was Eritrea. I'm pretty sure they don't have like fast Wi-Fi there or anything, so they have to go to like a cafe and pay like 6 cents a pop to like use the shit. But like, um, but like it's so bad. It's so slow there, you know. But I'm starting to think like, yo, that's a blessing. Like, why don't I live there? Because it's like they speak Italian. They're blacks, but they speak Italian, and it's like it's interesting. They're like Kobe Bryant's there. Pretty cool. Kobe was a pretty cool dude. I don't know. He's kind of an idiot though. In hindsight, but he's a good dude. Um, I had a Kobe Bryant joke for the special, and I'm like,